I'd been stabbed and shot and, shot at many times and, overdosed so many times. And I think that nothing hurt worse than that time my mom said, don't ever call the house again. The gift of that housing worker being able to reconnect me with my mom, which I thought was a relationship I'd never be able to repair. So that, having lost that was really what hurt the most. Once I had that glimmer of hope going, oh my God, I might have housing, I got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I kept going to my 12-step recovery meetings. Around that time, Elizabeth came into my life, and she ended up just being like, my biggest cheerleader and supporter and, friend I've ever known. So I had the opportunity to sit down with Mayor Chow and speak with her that day. I was sitting down kind of thinking about, some of the things I've gotten into recently and having that lovely interaction with the mayor. And it dawned on me that it's not that long ago, just only back in March, I was sitting in courtroom in a defendant's chair. And, and then that day, I met the mayor, she offered me to sit in one of hers. And I just think that's so powerful. That's, if people can really change if they're given the right supports and feel valued and get the opportunities to change. And that's, I think that one was a pretty big highlight moment for me, as to, how far I've come and how fast. And, yeah, that meant a lot. I actually even texted that to my mom. When I had that kind of epiphany, and my mom just said, she said, that's really sweet. And she's like, make sure I hold on to that. And I think that's, it's important to do that.
You made a decision to change.
Yeah.
And then you found housing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what's it like to move into, let's say, Dunn House.
Oh my God, that was and is and continues to be just the greatest gift I've ever been given. Honestly, for me, it was it took some real getting used to, just because all the time I spent in jail and just unsafely on the streets, just being able to live, having a place that's mine and getting that extra boost by keeping my own house clean and having control over that when I've lived in filth and squalor, or not even having that. I had the possibility of this housing unit at Dunn House. I already had a confirmed bed date for my treatment center, and I thought this whole thing was going to be derailed. And I'm very, very lucky that the judge could see that I was genuinely making a try, and and that's given me so much life again.
I know you do a lot of the gardening.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Yeah. That's actually, that's not something I knew I had in me. I just, I've been looking for ways to just kind of keep busy and, live a life that makes me happy now. And, one of the things that makes me happiest is just getting involved. I get involved everywhere I can, and I help a lot of people around here, and, I get stuff back from them too, right? So we all, the way we interact with each other, and we've built this little community amongst ourselves, and it's been a really fantastic way to live, and I think I'm very lucky.
Given an opportunity, what would you say to decision makers that have the power to make a difference? Of course, we all have power to make a difference, as you know.
Yeah.
You're making a big difference.
Thank you.
What would be something that you want to say to them, to say,
Well, if I had the opportunity, I'd really want to communicate the powerful change that these places can spark in an individual. It's not just about getting somebody off the street. It's about everything else that's come along with that. Giving them a sense of self again. Making them feel like they are worth it. Those two things can go immensely into helping really reintegrate somebody back into life again. I wasn't always homeless. I've had a very successful life prior to.
Everybody wants a community.
Yeah.
They want someone to care about them. They want to build relationship with other people. And if you have a place or environment or a net that could provide that place of caring, provide a place of support, and then people then rise to the occasion and say, I can find the strength, I can find the hope, I can do that.
And then, so anytime you can give somebody a sense of, being connected in the right way and knowing that they have the people that want to support them and care about them, people are going to make better decisions.